A hyperactive child learns through moving, and his movement is very necessary to him because his brain is functioning in that way to, that is telling him that different parts of his body need to be moving. And he can learn to control it, but it takes time, and he's not born with this knowledge or, way of learning until he's a little bit older, maybe 2, 3, 4 years of age. The hyperactive child, as I say, needs movement, and being free to move and to choose activities is very, very important for them, and not to be held back like prisoners. They do need a one-to-one help. They need a shadow teacher working close by, helping to direct them in the beginning. But eventually they can bring themselves under control, and they do know how to control themselves. It's something that you have to wait for. You have to really wait until the child arrives at that point. But working with a few of these children in the classroom, at first people will think, oh, there's no way we could do this. There's no way, because they may turn and topple many things before the first week is finished. But after that, it depends on how you react also. They react to our reactions. And it's sort of like we bring on some of these reactions without knowing and without realizing it. But no, I've really and truly been aided in many, many of my thoughts about children, and not just the hyperactive child himself, but other children who have a bit of hyperactivity, or hyperkinesis, whatever you want to call it, but we aren't aware of it because they don't act fully as a totally hyperkinetic child, They're not all that active and sort of, refusing to listen to anybody else. But they will listen, and they can do many, many things. I had a child in the States who was extremely hyperkinetic, and he learned to read, and he learned how to type because he couldn't write until he was age 8. I taught him how to type. He learned all the names of all the continents. He was interested in the world. He was interested in geography and the peoples around the world and the animals and so on. He was interested in most everything in the classroom, and especially the sensorial area. He became very, very careful with everything that he was doing, and he became, I don't know, it seemed that he was able to really and truly see through his senses, and to visually be able to see with his hands, and he could explain things that he was feeling on the wall blindfolded, and he could remember things that were in the classroom just by standing blindfolded and pointing in different directions as to where each activity was, so on. It was very intelligent.
So it's their children are not punished for something that they cannot control. We teach them how to control it, because in a regular classroom, there's only one typical image or form of behavior that can only fit in this classroom.
Right, in that method, of course. I mean, and you have to respect the fact that that's the only way it could work. But no, every child is individual in a Montessori classroom. They're viewed as an individual human being and respected as such, and that they are going to show us when they're ready for any particular kind of activity, even the calming down. When the point comes where they can go and sit down in a chair without being told, take an activity to the table first, and then sit down and do that activity, you know that they have overcome some of this problem that they have. They're controlling their own body. So, getting a rug on the floor, taking work, for instance, as the broad stairs at the Pink Tower or whatever, and doing that work on the rug, putting it back, rolling the rug and putting it back in its place. It's all requiring movement, and that's what they need, is movement.
movement and an orderly mind to do
right.
all the steps.
Right.
And well, it just makes them more compassionate towards themselves. I mean, they don't feel that they're punished for something.
Right. Right. There's no rewards nor punishments in Montessori. We don't give little gifts and presents for accomplishments. The accomplishment, it belongs to the child, and he knows when he's accomplished whatever and that he needs and wants to be doing, and he's the one that is benefiting from it. So we don't really have to tell him that we notice. It's not important that we notice. It's important that he notices what he's accomplished. Then he can go on from that point.